So you might be wondering what a man born in 1889 can teach you about how to make money online with AI in today's modern world. And of course, you'd be surprised. If you follow his lead, you just might strike it rich, because recently a door has just opened up. This is something that is just now happening, and there's a limited time, and we've got to exploit it while we still can. This new opportunity lets you take brand new AI strategies and then combine it with what I'm going to show you in this presentation. It's 105-year-old tried and true business strategies. And it's by combining both the old and the new, you can generate a lot of profit. And it's really this special combination of AI and this 105-year-old strategy that makes it all so highly profitable. And so, hi, Bill Mcintosh here. I'm the one doing this presentation, and a little background about me. So if you don't know me, I've been doing online entrepreneurship. I've been building businesses online for over 2 decades now, and I've been able to generate over $100 million in revenue through all the years of doing this. And I love to take my hard-won experience and help people like you get results online. But you're about to discover how you can claim your share of what is already a $325 billion industry, soon growing to over $1 trillion. It's an industry that Forbes says is among the fastest growing industries in the world. So even though it's already a booming market, it's primed for even more unprecedented growth. And it's wide open for you to profit with too. In fact, anyone with a bit of ambition and the right guidance can claim their share of the massive fortunes being made in this market. So hello, and I want to tell you about a guy who way back in 1919, a guy named Haldeman Julius figured out that if you tapped into people's deepest emotional desires, you could make a fortune. Specifically, he turned that insight, the ability to he used some pretty interesting strategies to really find out the motivation, the insight, the emotional desires, the deepest desires that people had, and turn that into information, and which became incredibly profitable. And he could figure out what people's problems and emotional goals were. They would practically throw money at him. When he figured out their emotional, deep-seated desires when it comes to the problems that they want to solve and the goals they want to achieve, books like these here, back from 1919 all the way up through the 40s and beyond, sold like crazy. So he sold over 500 million books. That's 500 million books sold. That is incredible. And it's really strange today that we don't hear more about him as an entrepreneur. Because what's more incredible, like if you really think about this, that was more than 100 years ago. So more than 100 years ago, there's this guy who published these little books, sold them through direct response with advertising in the newspapers and things like that, and through the mail, right? Think about, he didn't have the internet, he had the mail, and he had people licking stamps and sending him money. And he sold 500 million books 100 years ago. So in today's economy, that's the equivalent. Like if I sold 2 billion books, that's crazy. 2 billion books is the equivalent. If you compare 100 years ago, what the population and the economy was against today, that's what we're looking at. A guy who was a marketing genius who actually sold the equivalent of 2 billion physical books. So he was so successful that he had many admirers back in the day, and they called him the Barnum of books. What I'm going to be teaching you is how to find a niche market that has deep-seated emotional goals and problems. And then I'm going to show you how you can tap into these deepest desires and use AI to create digital guides that will solve these for them. If you're worried because you haven't picked a niche market, maybe you're someone who hasn't yet decided what market or what people you're going to serve or what you're going to sell, don't worry. I'm going to teach you exactly how you can use this is a strategy that we call profit syncing. And I'm going to show you how you can find the perfect market, tap into it, get in sync. That's where the profit syncing comes into. Sync up with them and find out what their deepest desires and goals are, and then make profit with it. And then when you use AI to find the perfect new niche market, then you're going to use AI to sync up with them find their deepest desires, and then you can help them solve them. And this helps anyone succeed. Even if you have no prior experience in creating an online business or a business of any kind, you can succeed with this. After all, look what our Haldeman Julius, with these books like these, he didn't have the internet. He didn't have AI. He had newspaper ads and stamps, envelopes, and either cash or checks sent in the mail. And he became filthy rich doing that. So if he could do it, I know you can do it if you just use some of the technology and some of the training that I give you to be able to use AI to be able to create what is the equivalent of those little books, really. You're finding and tapping into a market, you find out their deepest desires and problems and goals, you fill that, and they handsomely pay you for it. So the timing today couldn't be more perfect, because right now, everyday people of all ages and all walks of life are used to consuming how-to information online. They love taking courses, reading ebooks, listening to audiobooks, and this industry is growing like crazy. And I'm going to go back to my slides here. So this is a huge lucrative opportunity. We're really talking about online learning. And so we're going to take the equivalent of what Haldeman Julius was doing, and we're going to now bring it online. And it's such an insanely profitable opportunity that I've created dozens of digital courses myself as my time as an entrepreneur. Many of these courses have supported me with a lifestyle that would be envied by many. And several of them have made me millions, like this one. This sold a simple $11 product, $11 digital product, and we've got nearly $15 million from 11 bucks at a time. And now, after 20 plus years of online entrepreneurship, why have I invested so much time in creating and selling my own courses? And the answer is simple. They're growing like crazy and they produce massive amounts of profit. And so a lot of people have preconceived ideas about how this industry works, how difficult it is. You might be worrying that you can't create useful information. You don't know what niche to go into. You can't get someone to buy a course from you. Let me wash all that away and suspend your disbelief for just a moment, because you'll see exactly why you can do this and why I think online learning is the perfect business, and why right now it's the best time to get started, and why it's never been easier for you to enter this market and make yourself a fortune. In the past few years, millions of people all over the world had to change their habits overnight. And now they're turning to the internet, right? They're going to the internet to learn about any topic you could imagine. In fact, we have a customer who has created a course about how to become a mermaid. That's right, how to transform yourself into a mermaid and get paid for it. That's an example of a wild course that someone right in our own membership is making. Now, on top of that, an entirely new audience have come online. These are like call them the boomers, right? I know that's a term a lot of people throw around as derogatory, but it's really the older generation. People even my age and older, I'm Generation X, but from my generation and older are all now online consuming courses too. Now, human behavior rarely changes, but when such a huge transformation is happening, it makes opportunity. And that means there's a huge opportunity right now to build your own business from home and call the shots in your life. And there's even more good news, because according to the World Economic Forum, over 200 million people will be looking to enroll in online courses just this year alone. So not only will we have an extremely receptive and hot market, but sales of digital courses are expected to top $1 trillion. That's 1 trillion by 2028. Polaris Market Research, it's a market research firm. This is out of their report. It shows people think, oh, selling courses online, it's saturated. No, it is not. You can see here, we're in the middle of a massive growth cycle that's going to continue all the way through 2027 into a $1 trillion market. And that's why there never has truly been a time better than right now to create your own digital course and get in on the action. Celebrities, major companies, and everyday people are jumping into this exciting new world. They're creating courses and making money, even in areas that they are not experts in. I want to really emphasize this. You do not need to be an expert in order to be able to profit from this. It's like everyone's discovering a secret way to share what they know and then earn money from it. For example, an unexpected symbol of this is Mike Tyson. Did you know that he has his own digital course? It's called 12 Rounds with Tyson. And you might be surprised, it's not about boxing. There it is right there. This is 12 simple drills to unlock a champion's mindset and achieve anything. So as you can start to tell, this is not about boxing. Obviously, Mike Tyson is an expert boxer and he has a lot to teach there, but that's not what this course is about. It's about having a success mindset, something Mike does know a lot about from being the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, but he is not an expert in this. The twist here too is he's not teaching this to boxers. He's teaching it to people who work on the internet. He's marketing this course to entrepreneurs, to online business owners. Is Mike an expert in online business? No, of course not. But he is still succeeding and making money with this digital course. And it's all the magic of what we call profit syncing. And with profit syncing, this is where you're going to sync up. You're going to locate, find, and then get in sync with a market that has deep desires and problems and goals that they want to solve and achieve. And then you're going to help them and then make money in the process. And so you do not need to be an expert in order to make money with this. You just need to be able to spot what's hot and trending, then let AI create content about these trends for you. It's like having a superpower that makes you create a course that people want to buy. You can make money from things you already love and know a lot about. Maybe you have a hobby or an interest, or maybe even a career like gardening, painting, cooking, or whatever it might be. Or you're not sure what topic to choose yet. So you can use AI to identify popular trends and niches where you can make money, even if you're just learning about it yourself. So hopefully you're seeing at this point why combining AI and digital courses could be the biggest opportunity of our generation. And over the past few months, I've spent a lot of time and money figuring out this whole AI thing. And if you watch my channel, and you probably know, I put a lot of time into it. In fact, we build our own tools as well. So you've probably seen out there, there's like a billion AI tools now. There's AI chatbots, AI image generators, text to speech, text to video, all kinds of stuff. There are even bots that write programming code and a lot more. And it's a hot topic right now. People are making money in this market and it's changing people's lives. And there's a lot of excitement around this new technology, but there's very little in the way of practical money-making application of it. Couldn't you agree to that? I think if you've watched the AI market, you've probably seen that there's a lot of hype, a lot of really interesting, fun things, but very little practical money-making application. So right now, people are using AI for simple things that may or may not make money. In other words, AI is not particularly intelligent in their hands, and a lot of profit potential is being wasted. So now let's move on and address one of the most pressing questions people have about this model. And that is, can I really use AI to build a high-quality digital course? This is interesting. This is a really interesting piece of trivia. Did you know that AI, a literal AI bot, they had it take the bar exam, the same test that people go to school and study for many years, then they take the bar exam so that they can become an attorney, right? AI passed the bar exam. It's true, without any human help. Not only did it pass this challenging legal exam, but it did so by a huge margin. It actually beat humans in 5 of 7 of the subject areas of the test. It's an astonishing score of 297. It puts it in the top 10% of all test takers. And you can see here, this little study here, I know it's a little bit small on the screen, but these are all kinds of tests. Some of them are college entrance tests. Some of them are, like here's the AP biology test. And you can see that these are bots here, are passing the test. And so you can see here 298 out of 400 on the bar exam. And you can see a 700 out of 800 on SAT math, 710 out of 800 on reading and writing on the SAT. And that's just unleashing a bot on the test. That's pretty crazy. So think about it. If AI is smart enough to excel in law, then imagine how powerful it could be when it comes to helping you craft digital courses. It essentially knows the sum of all human knowledge. That's basically what's baked into AI today. But you need to know how to harness this power. If you don't know how to access it or how to tap into it correctly with the right strategies, you won't profit from it. So when you harness them correctly, that's where the power comes from. And the secret is knowing how to prompt and guide the AI. So prompt is just what do you ask it, or how do you ask it, and how do you set it up and teach it what you want. And so it is by teasing out the right information from the AI and then presenting that information in a way that's helpful and easy to understand. That's what makes it valuable to the audience that you choose to serve. So E. Haldeman Julius, and you saw me put his face on the screen. He's born in 1889, so it's really an old-time guy. And then in this little report here, it goes into how did he sell his first 100 million books, and it's quite brilliant. And in basically what he did was he would do market research, so he would interview people and learn about what are things that people were interested in. That was his first step. And so let's say that he learned that people were interested in maybe the survival niche. Maybe people were interested in learning how to survive off the grid if they ever need to for various reasons, right? Let's say he learned that was something people were interested in. What he would do is he would run advertisements, and he would advertise just the title of the book. So he was brilliant in that he would condense the topic of his little booklet right into a title, and it would be something like this, okay? And in his little blue books, you can see he'd have a title across the top. And here, I'll read some examples of some of his titles. Discovered people love to read about sex, okay? Modern sex morality, that was one of his things, right? And again, the evolution of sex. So that's an example of a book. That sold 25,000 copies. Here's one, The Psychology of Affection. That one sold 22,000 copies. The Psychology of Love and Hate, that sold 52,000 copies. How to Talk and Debate, that one sold 38,000 copies. So point is, he would come up with these concise titles that conveyed the meaning and the materials in the book. And then he would run an ad. And then he would sell books. And sometimes his books sold little bits, and sometimes his books sold lots. And so what he would do is then he used that as his market research. And so he kept meticulous statistics. So this is brilliant. This is before the age of computers. And he was doing split tests, basically. He would send out he would do these ads in the newspapers and the different places. He would advertise only the titles, no other copy, and he would have a price. And then people would send in they'd lick a stamp, stick it on an envelope, and send him some money. And then he would add up those numbers. And again, for the entire career of his, he kept meticulous stats. And then he would zero in. He would see, oh, look, people who bought this book on this title, look, it's selling 3 times more than everything else. And then he would double down on that. And he would write more books like the one that was selling. And then he would also encourage his readers to write him back. So in the books, he would encourage them to write back, and he would get survey data from them. Again, brilliant. This is 105 years ago, and the guy's doing market research, right? Surveying his customers. So he kept his stats on sales, and then he kept his surveys from his customers, and he used that to guide what his next little blue book was going to be about. And then he would just constantly improve and learn. It was a rolling learning machine is basically what it was. Learning about what did the population want. And that's how he made so much money. I couldn't imagine how much actual dollars in sales in today's economy. Probably the guy is probably, $1 billion in or more in sales if you were to look at it in today's economy. It's just nuts. So the beauty of this and why we're talking about it now and why I'm doing this challenge is to show you that AI today, you saw the slide earlier, it has the combined sum of all human knowledge baked into it. So all of the secrets that E. Haldeman Julius had to work so hard to learn, spending money to advertise, then surveying and thinking and learning and doing all this. Instead, if you know how, you can simply ask the AI and it will tell you. And it's good. It actually is incredibly good at finding out what people need and want. And if you know exactly the right way to do it, you can even get it to do internet research, to go dig and find more information out on the public internet, to do its research, and then come back to you and tell you what people are interested in. I couldn't imagine what Haldeman Julius would have done with this, right? If he had this at his disposal. And then we take the next step, is which we create a course. Now, creating a course takes like nothing. You can create a course in a matter of an hour, and you can create a course that is good, actually better than what in these little booklets. Like, you can see how small this one is, right? People paid a lot of money. See how this one is 45 pages. So 45 of these, it's a small booklet, so 45 little pages. And people paid him well for that. So you can now create that following my strategies with AI and offer it for sale. And then you measure just like he did. You go, okay, if I run a little bit of traffic to this, and I can teach you how to do that too. I do that on this channel, every week. But if I run a little bit of traffic to this, do people buy it? And how many people buy it? And then you can go and do the process again, find a new market, and do another round of profit syncing where you sync up with the market. Run it. Does it sell better or worse? And you just keep adapting. So you just send a little bit of traffic, you learn, and then you adapt. So it's that combination of using AI and then my unique strategy of testing to be able to do what he did 105 years ago. But rather than it taking you 50 years of a career, you'll be able to do this. You could do it in a matter of days, and you could zero right in on what's selling and take off and launch your business. I want to give you some examples of how you can apply some of what the Haldeman Julius does, but using AI. So we'll do some quick examples, and I'm going to pull up ChatGPT. So give me a second to get it up, and then we're going to have some fun together. Okay, so this is ChatGPT. And what we might want to do, you can use this for two things. So let's say in scenario number one, that you have the idea that people out there want to learn about how to be self-sufficient, how to be a prepper or a survivalist is another word for that. So let's say you already know that, but you're just not sure what topic, because that's a very broad niche. You have homesteaders, you have what they call preppers, you have off the grid people, like there's the people that are concerned that when the what hits the fan, that they need to grab their bug out bag and get in their truck and take off, right? So there's all kinds of different aspects to this market. And some people just like to learn about how to be self-sufficient or how to be an outdoorsman or woman. And so it's a broad market. And let's say that you were wanting to learn what are some of the things in that market? What are some of the, like in the Haldeman Julius examples, right? He would just, I'll find this one. He would just create his little book and give it a single title and then advertise and promote that title. So what if we wanted to brainstorm out what are some possible topics and then what are some possible titles that we could advertise? So we're going to do that right now. Let's take a look. So we can just go to ChatGPT and you could just say, you could first say, please act. I like to say please. There's actually evidence. This is really strange, but there's evidence that when you say please, that it actually works better. I'm not kidding. So I'm going to say, please act as an expert market researcher who is brilliant at finding product ideas and possible product names or titles. I'm interested in the survivalist, prepper, and self-sufficiency. I knew I couldn't spell that. See, you don't even need to know how to spell to make money online. And self-sufficiency market. Please give me a list of the 10 most popular subjects in these markets. Boom. All right, now we have our topics, and it's even given us a little bit of background. So we got food storage and preservation, and they say here, this includes long-term food storage, solution, canning, dehydrating, and freeze-drying techniques, water purification and storage, first aid and medical preparedness, self-defense and home security, emergency shelter and sleeping systems, off-grid energy solutions. And there we go. We got 10 of them. Pretty cool, right? So this is allowing us to zero in on a market that we might know about. And then watch this. Let's see. Can you research on the web and see if you can find any others? There we go. So it's going to now do some research and see if there's anything else. This is a way to find trending markets, right, that are probably a little fresher, a little hotter, because they're in current online articles and news. There we go. Economic collapse preparedness, global and local event monitoring, bugging out. Remember I told you the guy who wants his bug out bag? Okay. So now we got a lot of ideas. Isn't this cool? Bushcraft. Okay, this is the idea of outdoorsmen, survivalism in the outdoors. Urban homesteading. That's a big topic these days. So each one of these is a gold mine. Every one of those ideas that you just saw ChatGPT give me is a potential just field of gold for you to mine using this strategy. And so watch now, I'm going to pick one of them. I'm just going to grab one. I'm going to look at the list. I'm just going to grab one and we're going to see if it can then generate some titles in the style of like how Haldeman Julius does. Let's go find that now. So first, I'm going to ask, are you familiar with the style of writing short book titles like the I'm going to ask it if it's familiar with that. There we go. That he is from that it or he. I shouldn't call. I'm not going to give the ChatGPT a pronoun. Here we go. Okay. So it's already figured out where we're going. Look at that. So it already knows. If you're looking to create short book titles in a similar style, especially for subjects, look at that. It already knows where we're going. And it's already suggesting titles. Okay. That's pretty cool. So now what we're going to do, now remember, we're going to stay in the same conversation because ChatGPT has a short-term memory where it remembers all of the stuff we've been talking about in this chat window. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to pick one. Let's pick bugging out as a topic. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to say, please take the topic of bugging out and write me 10 possible book titles in this style. There we go. I love this name. This one right here. I love that. The Art of Efficient Evacuation. That is good. The Bug Out Blueprint. Emergency escape strategies. Bugging out essential checklist. That right there would be a great freebie giveaway, like as a free report, or even as what they call an order bump, when someone can pay like $7 to get a little bit of extra stuff. Preparedness for rapid departure. A couple of these are really good. The Art of Efficient Evacuation. I think that's my favorite. So you see, this is good, right? This is really good marketing copy. And so what I can now do is I can keep digging. And what I might do is I might make one ebook, for example, or one course about bugging out. And then what I could do is come and work with ChatGPT to brainstorm out 3, 4, up to 10 different titles, advertise them, test them, and find out what the winning combination is. Once I know, oh, look, this title right here, that can then inform me to come back to my course and modify it and improve it to better align. So I'll have a kind of a generic course, I'll have a specific title, and the winning title in my ads, the one that gets the most sales in my ads, is going to be the one I'll come back and tweak and improve and modify my course to better fit that title. And that's exactly what he did 105 years ago. That's how he made all those riches. And something that I have been getting a lot of use with ChatGPT lately is making sure as I'm talking to it, I do it in one long conversation. So a tip is I make sure that on a single topic, I don't switch topics, but on a single topic, I like to keep it in the same conversation. As you can see, I've done here. It tends to keep it oriented and in better understanding with me. And so when you're using ChatGPT by hand, the old-fashioned way, this is the way to do that. I mean, I find I get better results. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask it some more questions. And I'm going to say, what are some examples? Or let's do this. Please give me 10 problems people face or goals that they have when they are interested in a book called, and then we're going to do the art of efficient evacuation. So it's now giving me a list of what their concerns are, what is going on, what's making them tick when it comes to the deep psychological and emotional reasons why they're interested in this topic, okay? And we've primed it. So by asking it this, we can use this to map out our course. And normally, when I'm going to show in the challenge and what I teach inside our PushButton AI training is a much more detailed thing, but I'm going to show you a really quick, simple way to take this from here. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, based on the above problems and goals, along with what you've discovered about this market, please create a course outline for a mini course titled, I'm going to say a mini online course. Okay, and now we're going to break it down. And so it's going to go through here. This is one of the funny quirks about working with AI. It does weird things like this, for example. So I don't know if you like that. So you can see lesson 1.1 from module 1, lesson 1.2. It's cool the way it formatted it that way. Oh, look at that, pet evacuation. So that would be my concern. What am I going to do? Roxy just is walking in my room right now. Hey, Roxy, come here. Come here, you. Come here, Roxy. Come here. Come here. Come on over. Come on over. Well, now I got both of them here. Come here, Roxy. Oh, come here. Off we go. Oh. Here she is. This is my little one. I got one little one and one big one. My little scruffy one. Yeah, what would I do with Roxy if I needed to bug out of town? The EMP went off. The nukes are falling. Yes, hi, Bodhi. The big one's down here, too. So that's pretty cool. And right on cue, they were looking at me through the door. Anyway, here we go. Module 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. We got 9 modules. And so what you would do at this point is you would go through one by one, constructing each lesson. And so if you wanted to put together a really good, really comprehensive course, you could go like this. You could say, we're going to copy this, and we're going to say, please create an outline for the lesson called. Right, and so now we're going to outline each lesson. And then we can take that lesson outline to write the lesson. So this is something we do a lot, and this gives a little bit of insight into what PushButton AI is doing. So when you use PushButton AI to build a course, it's going through this process, but it's doing it in many steps. So as an example, in order to finish creating this course that you see right there, I might have to do dozens of prompts. Like you see me typing instructions, that's a prompt. So I might have to do that dozens of times and then just copying and pasting to assemble my course, okay? So that's what a lot of what PushButton AI is doing behind the scenes. So it is asking multiple questions, multiple prompts. It'll say, I need an outline for this. Great, now take this section and give me another outline. Great, now take each section and write it for me. So for those of you who are not yet a PushButton AI customer, then you need to check this out. And all you need to do is go to pushbutton.ai/demo, pushbutton.ai/demo, and you can get a live one-on-one appointment to get on Zoom and see this powerful technology in action. And with PushButton AI, it will build an entire business from bottom to top. Everything you need, from your domain name to your logo to videos to audio lessons, an entire course that you can sell as your own, a 30-day email sequence that it writes. You can send a daily email for 30 days, all written by AI, and a whole lot more. It writes your sales page. If you're not sure how to write an expert sales page to convince people to buy stuff, it writes it for you. It writes a free report that you can give away to get subscribers to your list. It even creates and writes the opt-in subscription page to get people to subscribe to get the free report. And it goes on and on and on. It even writes your first 10 blog posts for you, and it can do so much more. Social media posts, ads, all of these things are done, and all you have to do is answer a couple of questions and push a button. Now, PushButton AI is not available to the public at the time of recording this video. And the only way to get in is by invite to our behind-the-scenes beta access. And during your live demo, we'll show you the technology. We'll actually work with you to actually map out an entire course that you could sell as your own. We'll outline the course with you together on the one-on-one Zoom call. And then if you so decide, if you're a good fit, you can come in, join our PushButton AI beta program, and be in business with that very course by the next day. Go to pushbutton.ai/demo to figure out if this powerful technology is right for you. You can register there. You'll book an appointment in the calendar. Be sure you show up. Our team will be very excited to meet you and show you how the tech works, outline your new course for you, and hopefully it's a fit and we can work together to launch your next business.